your man, Louie Tee. Welcome. You are in the lab room on Louie Tee Live, breaking down week 3 of the preseason in the National Football League. And Sunday Night Football. Was really looking forward to this game. Cincinnati Bengals, Jacksonville Jaguars. Everyone's been really building up this Jacksonville Jaguars train, really helping it gain steam this offseason. And I was looking forward to seeing what these guys actually look like. Primetime stage, everybody's watching, national televised game. Is this for real? Are you guys seriously going to try to make a run at this thing? And after watching the Texans earlier today and seeing how impressive they were, I was really looking for the Jaguars to wow me in this football game, and we simply didn't get that. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but before we get to any of that, first and foremost, let me set the table. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time, welcome. Thank you for joining me. My name is Louie Tee, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel while you're here. LouieTeeNetwork on YouTube. Great content already in the vault. Check it out, but I've got plenty more great content coming down the pipeline in 2016 and beyond. So subscribe to the Louie Tee Network. Also, you can find me on Twitter. @InTheLabRoom is the Twitter handle. Make sure that you give me a follow there. Also on Facebook, give me a like. In the Lab Room is the Facebook page, and you can reach me and my channel and my different various social media accounts down below, as you can see, by using the hashtag LouieTeeLive. If you want to have your voice heard on this program, simply leave a comment using the hashtag LouieTeeLive on either the YouTube actual live feed, on Twitter. LouieTeeLive is the hashtag again. @InTheLabRoom is the Twitter handle, or you can also leave a comment on Facebook, hashtag LouieTeeLive. That being said, let's jump into this Sunday night affair. Cincinnati Bengals on the road taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Here were the things that I liked, disliked, and of course, the banana in the tailpipe. Like, dislike, banana in the tailpipe.
What y'all, the second team?
We're the first team.
Yeah, we're not going to fall for a banana in the tailpipe.
You're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
So what the likes, dislikes, and banana in the tailpipe simply is me talking about the things that I liked from both teams in the game, the things that I disliked in the game from both teams. And then the banana in the tailpipe is pretty straightforward. It's the oldest trick in the book. I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. I'm not going to fall for something that this team did in this game that I don't think they're ultimately going to necessarily do in the upcoming season consistently, or it could be the other way around. They could do something really bad in this game, and I'm like, it was a pretty bad night. They had a rough night, rough go of it, but that's not necessarily indicative of who they are as a team moving forward, and so I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe for that either. So let's start with the road team, as I customarily do on this program, and we'll start with the Cincinnati Bengals and talk about what I liked in this game. I actually loved the offensive efficiency with which they worked in this game. They were extremely efficient. It almost made everything that they did in this game look easy. They get the early turnover of TJ Yeldon, and they turned that into points in 3 plays. The Jacksonville Jaguars got aggressive on 3rd down, tried to come with a blitz. Andy Dalton, the veteran quarterback, understood what was coming his way. And they had the perfect play call. I don't know if he actually got them into that play call or if that was the play call initially all along. But either way, that wide receiver screen was perfectly timed. They came on the blitz. They got the blockers out there, and it was an easy walk-in touchdown for Giovanni Bernard. And so that gave them a 7-0 lead. They got the football back, marched right down the field yet again, got into the end zone. And it was the ground game that really was, to me, the key in this game. The offensive line, give them credit. They did a phenomenal job up front of creating some gaping holes for the running backs. I thought that both of them looked exceptional in this game. Jeremy Hill, a guy that a lot of people feel like needs to have a bounce-back year in 2016. He looked good running the football. He was the one that scored the 2nd touchdown, stretching the football across the goal line, diving for the pylon. Giovanni Bernard looked outstanding in this game, and they were the next in this game for me. The running backs, I thought both of them looked exceptional. They look in midseason form. They look ready to go, and I thought they performed really well, and I just thought the entire offense as a whole looked good. They really didn't need the passing game tonight. I mean, Andy Dalton was solid. He wasn't, extraordinary. He didn't need to be. I mean, the running game to me carried the day for the Cincinnati Bengals in this game. They were able to run the football, dump it down. The screen game was very effective, ultra effective, and that's usually what happens when you catch a team trying to be over aggressive. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, frankly, were over aggressive in this game. And we'll talk about them when we get there, but the last light for me in this game is Geno Atkins. He was a monster. They kind of spotlighted him in this game. Luke Jokel moving from left tackle to left guard, and so they wanted to kind of keep tabs on what he was doing, and he was getting his ass whooped is what he was doing. Geno Atkins putting him on the seat of his pants all night, running by him, getting in the backfield, disrupting plays, making tackles for loss. It's what Geno Atkins does, so it's not a surprise. And again, sometimes you just need to be reminded of how good some of these players are around the league, and we saw it again on display in this game. Geno Atkins, one of the better defensive tackles in the National Football League. Let's go to my dislikes for the Cincinnati Bengals. And really, it's nothing that they did on the football field. It's injuries. Adam Jones, the cornerback formerly known as Pac-Man, missed this game because of an injury he sustained in warmups. I mean, how often does that happen? I can't recall ever hearing of a player injuring himself in warmups and not playing in a ball game. That's something you may hear of in basketball, maybe even baseball, but not football. That's rare. But anyway, he didn't play in this game. AJ Green, it's AJ Green. He left the game early with what was classified as a knee injury, but he said he was fine. He talked to Michelle Tafoya on the sidelines and said, yeah, I'm good, man. And it looked like he was fine. Probably tweaked something. It felt a little awkward. He went to the sideline. They checked him out, and it wasn't a big deal because, remember, he stayed in. After he tweaked it, he stayed in, and he actually came off the ball on the next snap fairly well. And then that's when he got off the field. He looked like he was hobbling, and he came off the field. But in any event, it doesn't seem serious, and that's a good thing for the Cincinnati Bengals because, like they chronicled on the telecast, there's not much behind him. If you take A.J. Green out of the offensive equation at the receiver position, they're really, really thin at receiver. And then also Cedric Pierman. I saw this one coming a mile away, injured his forearm, and he's going to be gone for a while. I mean, he stuck his stiff arm out there, and Devon House, the cornerback, came over and literally grabbed him by his arm and yanked him down and put all of his weight down on his forearm. And you can actually see it bending when he fell and he rolled over. It wasn't pretty. He's going to be out for a while. They put his arm in an air cast. I could see him being put on IR and being done for the season. I could see him being done for at least half of the year and being on the short-term IR. But Cedric Pierman definitely going to miss an extensive period of time. And again, I didn't sleep at a Holiday Inn last night. I can't confirm nor deny that, but doesn't look good. I can assure you of that. The banana in the tailpipe for me in this football game for the Cincinnati Bengals is the offense. And my question is this offense really fine? I left this game saying to myself, yeah, they were really good. They were actually great in this game from an offensive efficiency standpoint, but I wasn't blown away by anything I saw from the receivers. The tight end position has been decimated. Are they really fine, or was that just Jacksonville looking really porous? Kind of hard for me to decipher between the two. I think this offense is really good. I think the quarterback is really good. I think that offensive line is really good. I think the running backs are really good. I think A.J. Green is really good. But and I know I just named literally 75% of the offense, but I don't know. I don't trust the number 2 receiver in Brandon LaFell. The other receiver, the receiver out of Pitt, he's unproven, so you don't really know what you're getting there, even though I think he's going to be a stud for them. But you just don't know if the Cincinnati Bengals really are going to be that proficient offensively, or if that was just a byproduct of the Jacksonville Jaguars self-destructing and them taking advantage of that. In any event, I mean, I trust Cincinnati to get it done. I think they're a good football team. I'm not sure if they're going to look that efficient throughout the season because it made it look easy on this night. And I don't think that's what we're going to get from them moving forward. Let's go to Jacksonville. The talent is the only like I have in this game for them. They have talent on this football team. It is apparent. You can see it. But until it manifests itself into points on the scoreboard, which then manifests itself into wins, no one cares about the copious amounts of talent that you have on your football team. This has been the knock on the Jacksonville Jaguars since Gus Bradley has taken over, is that they didn't have enough talent. Then they started to accumulate talent, but they still weren't getting winning. They weren't getting wins out of their talent. And in this particular game, I don't think that changed at all. And I think Mike Tirico actually said it best, that this moment was too big for them and they're not ready yet. And I think that's the overriding theme and takeaway from this game, is that you looked at the Jacksonville Jaguars and you said, they're not ready yet. They're not ready for this. And they didn't look like it. They looked like, the stage, Sunday Night Football, was too big. They weren't ready for the competition, B, of the Cincinnati Bengals. And C, they just look like the weight of the world is on their shoulders because they feel like they need to live up to the expectations everyone set for them in this season. And they're not ready for that. They're just not ready. They're not there mentally as a football team yet. Let's get to the dislikes. The TJ Yeldon fumble, to me, set the tone for what was to come in this game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They struggled on offense. They couldn't get anything going. There were a bunch of penalties. They were out of sync. They just weren't on the same page. They weren't in lockstep with one another. The defense, they looked to be out of sorts. There were some huge holes in their defensive line, allowing the Cincinnati Bengals to run the football. They were over-aggressive trying to get after Andy Dalton, and it cost them. The Cincinnati Bengals were just smart. They didn't even run anything complex, just simple screens behind those blitzes, which allowed guys to get out in space and make big plays. That TJ Yeldon fumble was huge because I think it started that snowball effect that happens to bad football teams when things don't go right. Once that one thing goes wrong early in a ball game, you say to yourself, here we go again. And next thing you know, you start pressing, and then you get the results that we saw from the Jaguars in this football game, which was an unproductive football team that struggled to get anything going in any kind of flow or rhythm of the game, any kind of continuity all night long. The defense is the next dislike. I just thought the defense was porous, and for all of the talent that they've accumulated on that side of the football, for all of the things that they've done, watching the Jacksonville Jaguars on this night, I just didn't feel like that they meshed together at all. They just have a bunch of individual good football players, but as a team, they're not there yet. And again, this is what happens when you add a bunch of new pieces, whether it be via the draft and young guys or veterans from other teams. You can't expect these guys to come together and expect them to be a finished product overnight. I think this is going to be a process, and my worry is that Gus Bradley won't be here to see it through. That's always been my worry, is that they're going to get this thing kind of figured out, semi-figured out, but he won't be there to see this thing through, and he's going to be the one to go through all the growing pains with these players and try to get them on the same page, and then somebody else is going to come in and reap the benefits of the foundation that Gus Bradley has laid with this football team. But that being said, the next dislike was the moment was too big for him. And ultimately, it may not be too big for him 6 weeks from now in week 5 or week 4 of the regular season when they're playing much better football. May not be too big for them in week 8 when they're 5-3 on the season and they're playing good football. May not be too big for them then, but it was too big for them on this particular night. They were overmatched. I think the hype got to them. I already said how I felt about the Jacksonville Jaguars on this particular night and how I felt like they just they let the moment, the stage, all of the bright lights, all that stuff get to them in this football game. And they just weren't prepared for all of the things that come with playing on national television. They don't get to play on national television that often in front of this type of crowd against that type of team. I think they actually treated this game like a regular season game. Like, they really came out with expectations. They really wanted to get some things done. I think they actually called some real plays. I don't know if they necessarily game plan for this game. I don't think they went that far, but I think they actually put extra effort into this game because they really wanted to test themselves and see how far they had come and to see where they really were in the AFC pantheon of teams and in the pecking order of the AFC. And they found out quickly that they're not there yet. They're just not there yet. My next dislike, Luke Jokel on the ground. God damn it, Luke. Stay off the ground, bruh. Okay. It was pitiful. He was on the ground quite a bit tonight. And look, a lot of offensive linemen have met the same fate dealing with a guy like Geno Atkins. He's a monster. He's a man amongst boys. Yet you still got to find a way to stay on your damn feet, though. I mean, it was a shame. They put him at guard, and as Chris Collinsworth is talking about him, he literally was on the ground the next snap. Then they moved him to left tackle, took Kelvin Beachum out because, you know, he's coming back from the injury. They didn't want to overwork him. And the next snap, literally, he was on the ground at left tackle. And I'm like, wow, man, stay off the damn ground, man. You would have thought that was in a war, and he was trying to kind of crawl to safety or something. I mean, he was on the ground too damn much in this football game. He's got to be better, and it's all about his feet. They're too far apart. He doesn't have a good base. You can see it. You're looking at him. You're like, okay, you're asking for it, and he's just overmatched right now. And then the penalties. Again, when you get into this thing where you're pressing and you're trying to be too fine and too perfect, that's when you get penalties. When you mentally aren't sharp, that's when you get penalties. They weren't sharp mentally in this football game. A lot of penalties. One time, the center, Brandon Linder, snapped the ball too early. Then later on in the game, Blake Bortles forgot that he told them on 2. He comes out of there after 1, and everybody else on the line stays still. You rarely see that. The quarterback actually forgot the snap count, not the rest of the offensive line. And so they had a bunch of penalties in this game, man. They were undisciplined. It wasn't pretty for the Jacksonville Jaguars on this night. And my banana in the tailpipe is that the Jacksonville Jaguars aren't ready. I'm not going to buy that just because they looked pathetic in this game that they're not ready. I don't think they're ready right now, but ultimately I think they'll be much better in the regular season. Down the line, I think they'll perform at a much higher level. I think they put a lot of stock in this game, and they put too much on themselves to go out and perform, and they underperformed and they didn't deliver. And so I think this is going to be a teaching tool for them. And I don't think this is going to be a situation where you just say to yourself, okay, the Jags aren't ready, and you write them off, and that's that. I think this is a team that's going to use this as a teaching tool. I think they needed this too, because that balloon, it started to swell, and it had gotten really, really big, and I think they were starting to smell themselves. And now the Cincinnati Bengals just took a nice sharp pin and popped that balloon, and now they realize, okay, we got a long way to go, and everybody's telling us how good we are. We got a lot of work to do. We're nowhere near as good as everybody says we are. And so I think it'll help them. So I'm not buying this. The banana in the tailpipe for me is the Jags aren't ready. I think they will be ready. Ready for what? Maybe 7-9, 6-10, which is what I said all along anyway. But, I mean, are they going to be 9-7? Are they going to be 10-6, 8-8, challenging for a playoff spot? No. If you ask me, are they ready for that? No. I'll tell you right now they're not ready for that. But are they ready to take a step forward? Yeah, 7-9 is within reach, and I think that's something that they may be able to do. But I predicted them at 5-11, if I'm not mistaken, just because of their schedule. Again, I'm a practical guy. I look at the schedule, and I look at the two teams, and I say, okay, this team's better. They should win. They got a tough schedule. We'll see what happens. But on this night, the Jacksonville Jaguars were ill-prepared for the stage, the team they were playing against, and the moment. And I think all of those things were too big for them, and they had an epic fail tonight against the Cincinnati Bengals. So with that being said, we're going to jump on to the Twitter feed and see if there's anything there, which there usually isn't. So I'll check it quickly, and then I will go to the YouTube discussion board and see if there's anything addressed to me. If not, we will call it a night. And I've been a very busy man today, so I think I'm going to call it a night myself. So we're going to go through Twitter. We're going to go through this YouTube discussion chat room real quick and see what you guys have to say. And I don't see anything in here, so I'm going to wrap this thing on up, man. Cincinnati Bengals, Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the game might still be going on. Probably got about 5 or 6 minutes left in the ball game. At the end of the day, I've seen enough. I know what happened in this game, and we'll see what happens with these two teams moving forward. But that's going to do it for me. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. Remember, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. I still got Ravens, Lions, and Bears, Chiefs to break down, and I'll probably do that tomorrow. I will see you then. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a good one.